welcome to episode number 3 of the SCSL. We are here in week 3, and today our League 1 game is going to be RSV South Carolina Gamecocks taking on the Vanderbilt Commodores. As you can see, the SEC East standings, Vanderbilt won their opening game against Ole Miss. They're 1-1. South Carolina is also 1-1 after getting blown out by Georgia last week. And we will see if they can get their first conference win here today. Back to pass early here in the game. That'll be Brian Edwards for a gain of 21 into Vanderbilt territory. Move those chains for the South Carolina offense. A nice pass there by Bentley. It's now first and goal. Bentley going to throw. Got a man in the end zone. And that's Keel Pollard for a gain of 3. And South Carolina strikes first. 7 for 7 for 62 yards and a score on that opening drive for Jake Bentley. Very efficient, and South Carolina draws first blood here in week 3. Right there on 3rd and 8, the ball's going to come loose on the strip sack. It would eventually be picked up by Vanderbilt, but it's still 4th down. And so South Carolina would move down the field, but they would have to settle for a field goal on their next drive. Now with 6:58 left in the first half, it's 10-0 Gamecocks. Vanderbilt would move the ball a little bit. They would settle for a field goal try, and that would be no good. So it remains 10-0. And now South Carolina with the ball. Bentley going to take that one for a gain of 12 and a first down into Commodore territory. Bentley with 3 carries for 11 yards so far today. He's been efficient through the air as well. And later on, it's now 3rd and 8, under a minute and a half to go here first half. Bentley to the end zone, got a man wide open. It's Ortre Smith for 17 and a score. 13 of 16, 124 yards, 2 touchdowns for Bentley. And he's been carving up this Vanderbilt defense. Now 17-0. Vanderbilt's field goal try to end the first half is also no good. And it remains a 3-score game going into the second half. Right there, Bentley's got Shea Smith for a gain of 11 and a first down. That is Smith's first grab of the day. Later on, it would be 2nd and 6 here, down to a minute 50 to go here, third quarter. Right there, Bentley will keep it himself, shed a tackle, and Bentley's into the end zone. That's a 23-yard touchdown run for Jake Bentley. It's now a 4-score, well, technically still a 3-score game for South Carolina. Vanderbilt now needs 3 touchdowns, 3 2-point conversions to tie it. They'll get a touchdown right there here early in the 4th. That would be Bolar for a gain of 8 from Shermer. They would go for 2, didn't get it. 3rd and 6 now later on for South Carolina, and Brian Edwards open over the middle again, 15 more. Later on, it's now 4th and inches. South Carolina had to punt, and Vanderbilt, this is their last-ditch effort to try and get back into this game and give themselves a shot at the miracle comeback. They would convert that 4th and inches. Now it's 4th and 10 with 3 minutes left. Over the middle, got a man open. And another 4th down conversion keeps the Commodores' hopes alive. That's Cam Johnson, who's got 5 catches for 48 yards so far today. And on first down, Shermer back to pass. He's going to be picked off right there, and that should do it. Intercepted by South Carolina, the first turnover of the day for either team, and that's J.C. Horn's interception. Should seal this win, and it does. South Carolina able to run the clock out. Bentley went 22 of 23, very efficient. 2 touchdowns. He had a great game. Also had 10 carries, 46 yards on the ground. Smith had 6 catches, 44 yards, 4 for 49 for Edwards, 3 for 24 and a score for Pollard. And defensively, you got Brunson and I both had 1 tackle. Wanham had 2 tackles for loss. There were a host who had 1. Sacks for Kinlaw, Williams, and Wanham. And the interception from Horn that sealed the game. Also a forced fumble by Wanham, but no fumble recovery. He had the strip sack that was picked up by Vanderbilt. And White made his only field goal tries. Now we move into the rest of the scores for League 1 in Week 3. Arkansas pounds FCS East by 30. Noland had himself another good game, even though he only went 16 of 58. Still plenty good enough to get the win. As you look at the tackles right there, the tackling leaders anyway, sack for Henry, and a forced fumble recoveries for Harris, Bell, Henry, forced fumbles for Bell, Curl, McClure, Tutt. And also McClellan, no interceptions. Limpert went 4 of 6 on field goal tries. And Mississippi State pounds Auburn for their second straight win after dropping the opener against Oklahoma State. And Thompson went 19 of 34, had 264 yards, 3 scores. Also had 6 carries for 33 yards on the ground, 7 catches, 91 yards for Guidry, 2 touchdowns for Hill on 3 receptions. And Morgan had a pick 6 in the game as well on the defensive side of things. Definitely the defensive player of the game there, I would say, was Morgan. And there were no forced fumbles for either side. As we go look, Chrisman did not kick a field goal, went a perfect 5 for 5 on extra points though. Ohio State beats Cal. They improved to 3-0. Fields had a decent game. Victor had 7 catches, 66 yards, and a touchdown. Hill Jr. also had a receiving touchdown. Borland had 13 tackles on defense. Okuda had a pick. Young had a forced fumble. And there were no fumble recoveries or any other interceptions. And their kicker went 2 of 4 on field goal tries. And Pitt gets their first win of the SCSL, beating New Mexico 34-10. So a good game right there. Pickett, 166.2 QB rating, 18 of 33, 321 yards, 3 scores. Good day for him. And French had 9 catches, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns. He went off in the win. Brightwell had 12 tackles, a forced fumble, an interception for Watts, fumble recovery for Weaver. And no other, also a forced fumble for Williams, but no other turnovers. Kessman made both of his field goal tries, and Maryland improves to 2-0. They beat Virginia Tech 20-13. Hill did not have a great game. He only went 9 of 27, 128 yards, 1 score, 1 pick. But it doesn't matter as Maryland gets the win in the end anyway. Edwards had 5 catches, 76 yards in the score. Coward and Davis both had 7 tackles, a pick for Ellis. Also had 3 pass breakups, a forced fumble for Tanya, fumble recovery for Ellie, and a pick for Brooks Jr. And Louisville will lose to Kentucky by 10. Got outscored 10-0 in the fourth quarter as they lose 27-17. Pass had an okay game. Dawkins had 14 catches, 129 yards in the score in the losing effort. Whitlow had a pick for this Louisville defense, and a few deflections here and there, but no other turnovers or forced fumbles. And their kicker made their only field goal try as Texas will beat Ole Miss. They improved to 3-0. They're number 5. Buchele had an okay game. Humphrey had 4 catches, 61 yards in the score. Watson also had a receiving touchdown. Defensively, Johnson had 8 tackles. Roach had 6. A pick for Boyd, a forced fumble for Boyce, and a interception for Davis. Dicker made their only field goals. Now we move into the Week 2 game here for you today. It'll be Octagonal Gaming's Oregon Ducks versus the Computer Tennessee Volunteers. We had two CPU user games this week, no user games. And you can see the season offensive yardage so far. Oregon's number 10, they're undefeated, but they survived upset bids in each of their first 2 games. And so we'll see if they can pull out a win here against an SEC opponent in Tennessee here at home in Autzen Stadium. A 3rd and 4 here early for Oregon. Back to pass is Justin Herbert. That's going to be intercepted. Tried throwing it across his body, and it's going to be intercepted on the first drive of the game, and Tennessee's got good starting field position at the Oregon 25. Not a great start for Justin Herbert, who had high hopes for a strong senior season. Certainly not the way he wanted to start it today. But the defense will force a 4th and 1, and right there, hit in the backfield, blown up, not going to get it. Ty Chandler had nowhere to go. That's a loss of 7, and the Oregon defense stands strong. There on, Oregon's got a 1st and 10. They'll push that one into Tennessee territory as CJ Verdell will pick up 11. Take that carry right up the middle and move the chains into enemy territory. They're on, now it's 3rd and 9 here. Herbert's back to pass. He's going to throw, and that's going to be picked off. Wanted to go toward the sideline. second interception in as many drives for this Tennessee defense. And not a great start for Herbert. Tennessee would move down the field, 3rd and goal. And this Oregon defense will stand strong. Goal line stand should force a field goal try. But Tennessee's not thinking 3. They want 6, going for it on 4th and goal from the 1. And he's going to stand there. He's going to be sacked. This Oregon defense will force a big turnover on downs again. Back-to-back drive that's happened. Now we're into the second quarter, still scoreless. Tennessee would kick the field goal this time. And they draw first blood, lead it 3-0. 5:25 to go here first half. Herbert's going to keep this one himself on the option. Now he's going to pitch it. A broken tackle, another broken tackle, and down the sidelines they go. That's C.J. Verdell for 31 down to the 10. He got 5 carries, 49 yards. Herbert would walk that one in himself, and Oregon's on the board. They have the 7-3 lead. Justin Herbert has not had a great game through the air so far, but he gets a rushing touchdown right there to put the Ducks in front. 7-3, 4:41 left first half. Tennessee would move down the field and answer on the next drive themselves. They'd get a 1-yard touchdown run right there from Ty Chandler, back on top, 10-7. Oregon would move down the field here, under 30 seconds left first half. Long field goal on the way and no good. Tennessee takes over. Back to pass. They're thinking maybe they can extend this lead, but that's going to be intercepted. And a broken tackle at the 40 down the sideline. And they've got reservations for 6. It's a defensive touchdown to give Oregon the lead right back. Hockey Woods Jr. with the interception, saw nothing but daylight in front of him and took it to the house for the game-changing play here before halftime. 14-10 here, early third quarter. That'll be picked off for the 3rd time. Herbert's 3rd turnover of the day. This one returned down inside the 5. For a second, Tennessee was thinking a pick 6 of their own, but instead they're tackled at the 2. It's 1st and goal. Back to pass, rolling out, throws across, body picked off, intercepted again, and we've devolved into an interception fest. Both defenses have come to play here today. Lamar Winston Jr. with the pick that time. They'll turn him away again on 1st and goal. So that big interception return, nothing to help. Back to pass, that's intercepted. And that's another interception. It was the backup quarterback who was in as Herbert got injured. And this time Tennessee would score when they got inside the 1. The Oregon defense has played pretty well. They've had a couple huge 4th down stops, got a pick 6, had an interception. But their offense has just done them no favors. Too many short fields, 5 interceptions now after Shaw's going to be picked off right there, the backup quarterback. And they're on 3rd and 11, going deep, got a man wide open. That's Josh Palmer for a gain of 28. And the big play right there on 3rd down sets up a 3rd and goal, trying to get another goal line stand, but they cannot. Tennessee finally starting to take advantage of all these short fields they're being given off Oregon interceptions. And they would kick a field goal there midway through the 4th. It's now 27-14. 4th and 12, last ditch attempt for Oregon's going to be tackled shy of the 1st down marker. And that will be that. Oregon will lose this one 27-14. Really just a terrible game for the offense, especially the passing game. Herbert, a 40.4 QB rating, 4 interceptions before he got hurt. Verdell had 9 carries, 66 yards. Shaw was okay in relief, I guess. Only had 3 incompletions, but did throw a big pick. And really, Oregon's defense was not terrible. They just ran out of gas and were put in too many short field situations. 5 interceptions is never going to make things easy on a defense. And I thought, honestly, the Oregon defense played well. They had 2 big 4th down stops, including one on the goal line. They did have a pick 6. They had 2 interceptions in total. I mean, this Oregon defense played a pretty good game. They were just given too many short fields to try and protect, and that ended up being their undoing, as those 5 interceptions were just too much for a valiant defensive effort to overcome. And Oregon will take their first loss as we move into the other games for League 2. Penn State gets blown out by UCF 38-10. Not a good day for this offense. The Nittany Lions really just shut down by the UCF defense, and they allow 38 points to the offense of the Knights. A forced fumble and fumble recovery for Gross Matos, who also had 2 tackles for loss in the game. Eastern Michigan nearly beats Rutgers, take them into 3 overtimes, but in the end they would lose 33-30. Uyghurs had an okay game, 18 of 38, 221 yards, scoring a pick. But Shaq Van went off again, 10 carries, 130 yards, and a touchdown. Averaged 13 yards a carry. Shaq Van has been incredible here in this early going for the Eagles, and very nearly helped them knock off the Big Ten opponents. But in the end, they would fall just short on the triple overtime affair. Fricano would make all 3 of his field goal tries. And Boise gets their first win of the season after a hard-fought loss against Kansas State last week. Bachmeier had an okay game. Shakir had 6 catches, 91 yards. Thomas had 6 for 51. And defensively, Frazier had 9 tackles. You had a fumble recovery for Weaver, forced fumble by Wickersham, and no interceptions or other turnovers, but it's still enough for Boise State to get the win. As we would move into the user game of Week 3, UCLA versus Nebraska. And Nebraska would win this one 28-17. Pretty close game. Kelly had 21 carries, 102 yards, and a touchdown. UCLA's player of the game. Spate did not have a particularly great game. Defensively, we had an interception for Lake and Holmes. And their kicker went 1 for 2 on field goal tries. As you look, Adrian Martinez was okay. Nothing spectacular. 19 of 33, 248 yards, 3 scores, 2 interceptions. Ozigbo, 7 carries, 53 yards, and a touchdown. Morgan, 7 catches, 73 yards, and a score. 5 catches for 122 yards for J.D. Spielman. Ben Stilley had 10 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks. So Stilley had a mammoth game, very disruptive. Interception for DiCaprio Boodle. And no field goals attempted or made for Nebraska, but they get the win, improved to 3-0. Michigan and their opener will lose to Notre Dame. Peoples-Jones had 6 catches for 98 yards for the Wolverines. Gill had 11 tackles, 4 for loss, 2 sacks. But no turnovers really for that Michigan defense. And Kansas State would win their second in a row after an opening loss in Lincoln. They take down UMass. I think the score was like 24-7. Barnes had 10 carries, 60 yards, and a touchdown. So not as potent as he was last week against Boise State, but good enough to get the job done there. An interception for Shelley, forced fumble for Goolsby, pick for Rudick. And Lynch made the kick, but that'll do it for me, and I will see you guys next time. Have a great day, everybody.